Now, in the fifth and final section of our lecture, Disorders of Vestibular System, we will talk about some lab tests of vestibular function. And the lab tests we will talk about are the caloric test, electronystagmography, optokinetic test and rotation test, and then we will talk about galvanic test and post-urography. Caloric test. Caloric test is the test which induces nystagmus by thermal stimulation of vestibular system so that each labyrinth can be tested separately. So both ears can be tested separately in this, and then in this the test is done to induce nystagmus again, which is the involuntary rhythmic movement of the eye by thermal stimulation. So different temperatures are used, hot and cold, and then separate ears can be checked for the response. Then we have modified Cobrack test. What happened in this? The patient is seated with head tilted 60-degree backwards. Then ear irrigated with ice water for 60 seconds. Start with 5 ml of water, nystagmus beating towards opposite ear. This is normal. So to find the problem, we should first know what is the normal, so then we compare it with something that's abnormal. So in Cobrack test, what's the normal finding is when the patient is sitting straight, head tilted 60-degree backwards, and then the ear is irrigated with ice cold water for about 60 seconds. We start with less amount like 5 ml and slowly it can increase, but with 5 ml usually we see there is nystagmus or movement of the eye towards the opposite ear. So if the ear irrigation is performed on the right, the eye or the nystagmus will be present towards the left side. That's the normal response. If there is no response with 5 ml, we can increase the water to 10 ml, then to 20 and 40. If there is still no response, it means the labyrinth is dead. So this is the test which is known as the caloric test, in which we have modified Cobrack test, which tells us the normal ear from the dead labyrinth. Next, the caloric test is the induced nystagmus by thermal stimulation of so that each labyrinth can be tested separately. We have the Fitzgerald-Hallpike test. If you see in the modified Cobrack test, we only use the ice cold water. Cold water is used, but in this caloric test, we use the bithermal. It's called the Fitzgerald-Hallpike test, is also known as bithermal caloric test. We use both temperatures, hot and cold, and then we find the different reaction. So it can be done on both ears. We have performed by 2 temperatures. One is 30 degrees centigrade, another is 44 degrees centigrade, and patient bed is about elevated 30 degrees. Then we record there is response from the left ear separately, there is response from right ear, and again we do it both for the 30 degrees and then for the 44 degrees. So response from the left ear, left 30 plus left 44 times 100 over left 30 plus 44 plus right 30 plus right 44. So these are the different calculations performed. So caloric test is mainly to induce nystagmus by using 2 different temperatures, and both ears can be used for the testing. Then there is electronystagmography. As the name shows, is the method of detecting and recording of nystagmus. So, electrical recording of the nystagmus, which is spontaneous or induced by caloric, positional, rotational, or optokinetic stimulus. So in this, there is electrical recording of the nystagmus. Nystagmus can be induced by any mean. It can be by caloric test, which we already talked about. It can be by obtaining different positions, by rotations, or by optokinetic stimulus. This is the, in this, if you see, there is no motion of the eye, no motion. Then if there is rotation of the head to one side, there is latency of less than 1 minute, and then you can see if the patient is turned to the head is to the left, the eyes move to the right side. If the head is to the right, eyes move to the left. If the head move to the left, eyes move to the right. So all these are the different positions of the nystagmus by obtaining different positions, and then these can be recorded electrically on a graph. Then optokinetic test. Optokinetic test is a test in which the patient is asked to follow a series of vertical stripes on drum, moving first from right to left and then from left to right. And to check if this can cause nystagmus in the patient. So, as the name optokinetic test, a vertical a drum is placed in front of the patient eyes with vertical stripe, and patient is asked to see during the rotation first from right to left and then left to right, and doctor observes if there is any nystagmus caused by this motion of the eyes. Then the rotation test is in this test the patient is seated on Barani's revolving chair with his head tilted to 30-degree forward and then rotated 10 turns in 20 seconds. The chair is stopped abruptly and nystagmus is observed. So as the name shows, it's a rotation test. So patient is placed on the revolving chair, and then the head is in the specific 30-degree position, and then the chair is rotated 10 turns in 20 seconds, and then it is stopped. And if this can cause nystagmus or not, this is known as the rotation test. And then patient is also can be asked to observe these different pictures like this, which have different directions, rotations, and if this can cause nystagmus or not. Then the galvanic test. Galvanic test is the test. It helps in differentiating an end organ lesion from the vestibular nerve lesion, in which the electrodes are placed and electric current is passed, and if this can cause nystagmus or not. And it helps mainly in differentiating end organ lesion from the vestibular nerve lesion. Then post-urography. This post-urography test is performed to evaluate vestibular function by measuring postural stability, and is based on the fact that maintenance of posture depends on 3 sensory input: visual, vestibular, and somatosensory. So in this, the balance is measured if patient can stand still, and this can give the idea first with the eyes open and then with the eyes closed, if they can maintain their posture properly when the eyes are closed. that was all about the test performed for the vestibular function. And then this conclude our lecture, in which we talk in detail about the different conditions and then different disorders of the vestibular system. We talk about peripheral disorders, we talked about central disorders, we talk about some tests performed to detect the vestibular disorders, and we talk about some investigations to diagnose. So thank you for watching sqadia.com.